I'm just going to say that as far as child support is concerned, Mr. McNeil does not owe any retroactive child support. So there'll be a zero balance for that.
I'll call the mother. Ma'am, will you state your name?
Carla Stovall,
And what's your child's name?
Jayla McNeil.
Okay. And when Jayla was born, did Mr. McNeil sign a document admitting he's the biological father?
Yes.
Okay. And in the last 4 years, who is your child living primarily with?
Me.
Has she ever spent a majority of her time living with Mr. McNeil?
No.
Okay. And when you have enrolled her in school, specifically in the last 4 years, were you using your address or the father's address?
My address, the only time was this school year in the beginning, but it changed. But for the last 4 years is my address.
Okay, but this senior year, you enrolled her in school based on the father's address?
Yes, but she was living with me.
Objection, anything after yes.
What's your objection?
Non-responsive.
Okay, overruled.
And Ms. Stovall, how come you decided to enroll her in a school in the father's district for her senior year?
Due to having to move with my granny and trying to be able to pay for her with no assistance for school, I did have to move with my granny. So I've been, we didn't have a consistent address when it was time for school to start. So he allowed her to be able to use his address. But Jayla is still with me and my granny at the time for now.
Okay. And you're requesting
The hearing opens with a decisive statement from the bench. No retroactive child support is owed at the outset. The court immediately narrows the scope, signaling that this case will be governed strictly by law, not assumptions. With the child already 18 and nearing graduation, the judge establishes that future child support is off the table. This framing matters. It places firm boundaries around what the court can and cannot order. From the first minute, the judge makes clear this is not about rewriting history, but about determining what, if anything, the law still permits.
Retroactive child support for the last 4 years, correct?
Say that again. We didn't catch your microphone.
Yes, sorry.
Okay. And was there a private agreement between you and the father regarding child support in 2023?
Yes, that was the reason why we went down there to the court and we made an agreement where he would pay $300 a month, but he's been inconsistent where why I am just now requesting retro because I was, trying to be understanding to the agreement that he didn't continue doing should have.
Okay. And so he has paid some months of $300, and so we've calculated a total to be $12,025. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you're willing to give him credit for that, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And based on his wages, we've calculated that child support would have been $983 each month.
The mother testifies that the child lived primarily with her for 4 years and that she carried all major financial responsibility. She confirms a private agreement in 2023 for $300 per month but argues the father failed to remain consistent. Based on his income, the state calculates retroactive child support at $983 per month, totaling over $35,000 after credits. She agrees to give credit for payments made. Her testimony centers on stability, housing, schooling, and insurance costs, presenting a narrative that she carried the financial burden while relying on an informal agreement that ultimately broke down.
And after calculating the retroactive support for the last 4 years and giving him credit, the balance we came to was $35,159. Are you in agreement with that amount?
Yes.
And we've calculated a monthly payment of $226 beginning June 1st, 2025. Are you in agreement with that?
Yes.
Okay. And you're also requesting retroactive medical support, correct?
Yes.
And in the last 4 years, what kind of health insurance coverage has your child have?
She's have medical, dental, vision.
And has that been through your employer?
Yes.
Okay, so the last 4 years she's had private insurance. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you've been paying $357 per month for that coverage, is that right?
Yes, for the medical, and then the 357 was just medical.
During cross-examination, the defense challenges the mother's claims of exclusive custody. Questions focus on address changes, voter registration, school enrollment, and whether the child spent significant time with the father. The mother firmly denies any 50-50th arrangement and insists the child never lived overnight with him. Objections arise repeatedly over non-responsive answers, reflecting rising tension. This exchange highlights a key issue: conflicting perceptions of where the child truly lived. The court allows testimony but remains focused on legal standards, not emotional certainty or informal arrangements between the parents.
Medical. It's 357 and 25 cents for medical, and $56 dental, and $4 for vision.
Okay. And you're requesting that the father pay you back for the 4 years that you've carried the private insurance?
Yes.
And have you, in the past 4 years, he reimbursed you for any of the premiums you've incurred?
No.
And so we've calculated a total for the medical support at $17,136. Are you in agreement with that amount?
Yes.
And we've calculated a monthly payment at $136. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any safety concerns if your address or your phone number is in the court order?
No.
Okay. Is there anything else you want the court to know about the retroactive child and medical support issues?
The father acknowledges paternity and admits to a $300 per month agreement beginning in 2023. He disputes the retroactive amount, arguing he provided substantial direct support covering phone bills, senior fees, driver's license costs, vehicle expenses, and college-related travel. He claims the child lived with him for about a year and stayed overnight regularly. However, when pressed, he concedes there was no court order and no formal custody agreement. His reliance on informal support and undocumented expenses becomes a critical weakness, especially as the judge emphasizes the difference between voluntary spending and court-ordered obligations.
Just not anything I can think of, but I do have my proof of what he's paid me and where she has lived. I do have all my records of where her whereabouts and her living arrangements, and how much he's paid me and how much I've paid for insurance today.
Okay. And just to confirm, in the last 4 years, your child, you're saying, lives primarily with you?
Yes.
That you and the father did
100%.
not do a 50-50 split at any point?
No, not at
Okay.
all.
Okay, I'll pass the witness.
Mr. McNeil, I need you to look in the camera while we're even if you're not testifying. Ms. Clarity, do you have questions? Go ahead and follow with questions of Mr. Stovall.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Stovall, okay, you said there wasn't a 50-50 plan?
Right. Yes.
Okay, but isn't it true that you all agreed, okay, he will pay 300 back in 2023, is that correct?
Medical support becomes the clearest issue in the case. The mother testifies she paid for private medical, dental, and vision insurance for 4 years at significant cost. The father admits he never reimbursed her and never carried the child on his insurance despite having access through his employer. Unlike child support, medical support was never part of their $300 agreement. This distinction proves crucial. The court repeatedly steers the father back to yes or no answers, making the record unmistakable. Medical expenses were real, documented, and entirely unpaid by him.
You agreed to
Yes.
that?
Mhm.
Okay. So, but now you're claiming that you want retroactive for 900 something. Is that
Yes.
correct? So you're reneging on your agreement.
Yes.
Okay. You said you have lived at different places because you had to live with your grandmother. Is that
Last
correct in the
this
past
last
year?
couple months. Yes. No, I've
Okay.
only lived in one place, and that's that address that you have where I moved with my grandmother. That only place.
Okay. And isn't it true during that time, Jayla, the child was living with her father primarily because you didn't have a steady place of residence?
No, not at all. She's been there 100%. She's never stepped foot to spend a night at all.
Okay. Uh, Father's residence is listed on her driver's license. Is that correct?
Her driver's license, I have a picture of it. It is 1903 where I currently live now. It's never had his address on anything.
Okay. Is she
In closing, the defense argues fairness, timing, and reliance on the 2023 agreement. They stress the child's age, late filing, and the father's extensive voluntary contributions. The state counters with a strict legal position. Informal agreements do not replace court orders, school enrollment does not equal primary residence, and medical reimbursement is mandatory when one parent bears the full cost. Both sides appeal to reason, but from different angles. One leans on equity and cooperation, the other on statutory enforcement. The judge now weighs credibility, timing, and legal authority.